All right, guys, hey, thanks for checking out this video, and I'm gonna tell you right now, of all the videos I've ever done covering cars, this is gonna be the most awesome video because it incorporates my favorite vehicle on the planet, and that is the Ford F-150. Sure, I could love a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but when it comes to trucks, when the Ford F-150 Raptor came out in 2010, there was no other truck that I was like, man, someday I wanna own an F-150. So this is my Gen 3 F-150 2023 Raptor, and it's awesome. And we're gonna talk a little bit about why I love this truck so much, and we're gonna talk about why I fell in love with it. This right here is the granddaddy of them all. This is the Ford F-150 Raptor R with the 720 horsepower, 5.2 liter V8. This thing is a fire-breathing effing dragon. This thing is badass. It is the fastest, most fun, most powerful Ford F-150 Raptor ever built. So before we get into this and before we get into that, make sure you guys are following along on all my social channels at It's Mike Caudill on Instagram and TikTok. And that way you guys see not just the fun that we have with these, but the fun that we have with all the other vehicles. All right, you guys ready? Let's dig in and take a look at why the F-150 Raptor is just the best truck ever built. I'm just gonna do a quick walk around with you guys really fast and show you all of what this 2023 is all about, what I did to it, and then we're gonna dump into what you're really wanting to look at, and that is the F-150 Raptor R. All right, so the first thing is both of the Raptors come with a solid steel front bumper up front, and this is really important because when you're off-roading, you wanna make sure you mitigate any impact. You've got the rigid lights up here on front, you've got the signature Ford grille along the front, and then as you come up over the hood, all the Ford F-150 Raptors come with a special hood scoop right here that will pull air down, keep things cool under the hood. And this one is actually different than we'll show you in a minute on the F-150 Raptor R. You've got Fox suspension all the way around on this, and what I did for my truck is I upgraded from the 35-inch wheel and tire package and went to a 37, and this is the BFG Goodrich KOA2 tire on this. These are the massive 37s that are exactly the same tires that are on the F-150 Raptor R right here. I actually went and lifted the front end of this as well. So I went with an Eibach leveling kit to bring it up about 1.5 inches to make it ride flat. One of the biggest criticisms if you're a Raptor owner is that they always run like this. They run nose down, and the engineering team will tell you that's because of performance, right? If you're nose down and you throttle it, it makes the truck even when you hammer it. But for most people, they're not hammering their trucks all the time, so you want a nice, solid, flat look. So I did that up here on front, and I also increased it by about 1/2 inch on the rear. So I gave my truck a more level look. As you make your way down, and we think about both of these Raptors, they're gonna almost be identical all the way down. You've got the same hood scoop, you got the same fender flares on it, you've got the same step-in bar right here, so you've got the easy access on the inside. And then as you were to make your way down, you've just got the same look on the F-150 Raptor as you do with the F-150 Raptor R. All right, so switching gears, we're gonna talk about the F-150 Raptor R, and there are a ton of videos you guys can watch online to get all the details. And we're gonna break down the details for the most part, but what you wanna see is the action, right? You wanna see how this Gen 2 or Gen 3 competes with this Gen 3, one with the 3.5 and one with the 5.2 liter supercharged V8, which is what we're gonna talk about right now. So we're gonna put this thing in action in a few minutes, and we're gonna show you guys how these things perform out on this course. So here's the heartbeat of the F-150 Raptor R, and there's a bunch that I'm gonna talk about down here. So first off, you've got a 5.2 liter supercharged V8 pushing out 720 horsepower. It's a lot of performance under the hood, especially with that supercharger. Something that's interesting to me with the way that this has been designed is that if you look inside this hood, right under this hood right here, look at all the room you have. Cars today are so complex, but with this V8, they've tucked it down a little bit lower into the cavity of the engine bay. And they've done that to bring the center of gravity down with this truck. So if you're out off-roading, you still have the great ground clearance that you want, but you have an accessible motor that you can get to, but most importantly, you've got that weight drop down a little bit, so it's going to give you a little bit more of that stability when you're out off-roading. It's mated to the same 10-speed transmission. It's just been updated, bolstered, made stronger, if you will. So the powertrain all the way through is going to be significantly advanced by the Ford Performance team than the standard 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6. So you have that going for you. Around this side, I'll shut the hood so you guys can check out what I'm going to talk about next, and that is suspension. That's what happens when you're up on a hill. All right, so here's what's really cool. And if we could pan, I'm just going to show you guys really fast. So the tires on that truck that comes stock from the dealer are the same tires on this F-150 Raptor R. So they haven't changed the tires, and that's because these BF Goodrich all-terrain KO2 tires are so good. They tackle just about any obstacle. They're fantastic. Beadlock capable wheels are going to come as an option on the Raptor R. And the suspension has been changed out. This is the Fox dual valve live shock technology. That's kind of their speak for it. So it's all active suspension. And when you're off-road, it's really making those, you know, millisecond adjustments as you're out there paving the dirt. But the word that goes in front of it versus the existing F-150 is the word racing. So this is coming from the race team, the Baja team technology, so that when you're off-roading, you really feel it. And when we're out here ripping, you guys will see how stable our cameras are because the suspension is so good. As we make our way around, and I'll shut this really fast so you guys can see the difference. So the standard F-150 and the Raptor R are identical on the rear. They're absolutely identical with one adjustment. If you look inside the exhaust pipes, you're going to see a different exhaust system. And that's because with the Raptor R, you really want to be able to take that powerful V8 engine and you want to be able to hear it. So I think I would round it out with this, guys, before we get out and start driving, is that these trucks are literally identical. And what I love the most about mine is the fact that it's a great performing truck, but I know I can take it off-road. Now, there's one thing both of these trucks, there's something that they don't have, and it's the only drawback to a Raptor, and that's towing capacity. So you're looking at 8,200 pounds towing capacity on that guy over there. Add a little bit more for this. The engines can do it, but the problem with your towing capacity is the Fox suspension. It's too soft. You can't tow with it. So, but outside of that, they're identical trucks. So you guys ready? All right, let's do some comparisons, take these both off-road and pound them a little bit and let you guys see how they perform. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do before we start ripping is we put it in off-road mode. And we've done that because we wanna have the rear locking differential engaged and we wanna be in four-wheel drive. And I say that because when you're out here, and we're gonna be hitting 40, 50 miles an hour, but this is a tight environment. If you can pan ahead and just kind of show everybody how tight of an environment this is, I mean, it's narrow. So getting at those speeds, you wanna have the control and you're gonna get that. Up here, the forward camera for off-roading and Baja is one of my favorite features. So right now, we've got no locking differential on front. We've got the rear engaged. So let's give it a rip, show you guys a little bit what the Raptor R can do. So hood pops up immediately, supercharger kicks in, and we are just blasting, you know, through this, you know, narrow wilderness trail. Got a big dip right here, so you're gonna feel it dip down, boom, dips down. Suspension is soft. Supercharger kicks in immediately. There's very little lag with the supercharger. It's instant power, and crazy, and dare I say it, almost feels a little bit like an electric vehicle with that instant torque kick off the line. Make our way through some of this terrain in here. Also ability to use my camera up here. So you can feel that this just literally floats. It's very comfortable and soft. Big drop right here. Boom! Let's not hit it at full speed. We would flip. We would endo. All right, so that gives you a chance to just experience a little bit of what the off-road mode is. So now we're going to go to Baja mode, which is my personal favorite mode. Now no longer locked in front or rear. We're just four-wheel drive. So in four-wheel drive, it's just really about that all-out performance on the drive. So we're going to hook up this hill right here, and we're going to rip, because the Baja mode, without having that locked rear, everything's a little bit more free. And we're gonna thread through here. So the question is, does this feel like a Baja truck? And the answer is yes, it does. Aggressive braking, very important when you're out off-roading. I think if you've ever spent time actually really off-roading, watch my hand inputs. It's insane how fast you gotta be moving your hands. Brake hard, hands come in. Hard turn here, hit that turn hard. That was so friggin' awesome. All right, so here's what we're gonna do now. So now we've experienced Baja mode. We've used the regular automatic transmission. Now we're gonna play a little bit around with the manual opportunity, or manual gearbox, if you will. So second gear, third gear, a little bit more like a manual performance, fourth gear. Drop to second as I hit a little bit of a turn. So you can see it's a little more squirrely because I have a little bit more torque. And that's how you do it, Ford Raptor R. All right, so here's the deal. Seriously, the 3.5 liter is amazing, but it ain't this. It ain't this. There ain't no automaker that can do this. I don't even think the TRX is gonna do this. So although Ford was late on the TRX with the V8, it's still, without a doubt, the best performing truck that you can buy. All right, so now we are gonna take, in fairness to the process, we're gonna take my Gen 3 with a 3.5 liter. With that twin turbocharged V6, and we're gonna take it out. So we're gonna start like we did last time. We're gonna start in off-road mode. All right, so here we go. We're in off-road mode now. We're on our stretch of trail, and I'm not gonna lie, because I love the truck so much, and I want it to sound as good as the V8. I'm gonna put it in Baja mode. Not Baja mode, just Baja exhaust in off-road. So we're gonna compare off-road to off-road, but I have it in the Baja mode so you can at least hear the sound of the 3.5 liter. So got our long stretch. Let's go. You guys ready? Got the camera opened up on front. All right, here we go. Ooh, ooh. All right, so here's the deal. A 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 can be fun. And this thing is super fun. Sorry I'm yelling, but it's because it's my truck and I don't get to drive it like this that often. It's a great performing truck. Like, the turbos are amazing. It is so awesome and well balanced off-road. Got a little bit of air right there, baby. We didn't do that in the V8. And I think that's what my takeaway that I want consumers to know, right? Is that this truck, whether you have the horsepower of the Raptor R or you have the horsepower of the 3.5 liter, it's just an amazing machine, right? You guys are getting a chance to see firsthand what it's like driving this truck. And right, so knowing it's mine, of course I'm gonna baby it a little bit, but not really. It's just so good. And I think it's just a testament to what Ford Motor Company has done with the technology. They've taken all their DNA, everything they've learned from Baja racing, and they put it into this truck. That I can have the confidence of coming out here and having a good time, and also knowing that my truck isn't gonna break on me. Knock on wood. Let's knock on wood. Let's not break truck. So this is our favorite trail that we've identified right here. It's an uphill, so we get to test the rig uphill, right? Nice little moderate speed coming up, and then we're gonna hit this flat up here, and this is where we go hammer down. This is real true Baja mode right here. Some ways, because of the difference in weight of the engine, I know it's negligible, and I'll get that number for you, but this thing handles almost lighter weight than the bigger engine vehicle. And I mean, it feels every bit as good. Oh, bad judgment on the turn. I thought that was the turn. You could have the V8. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the V8. But when this can put a smile on my freaking face, just like the other truck, that's amazing. All right, so now we're gonna go full tilt in Baja mode, and all traction control is off. We are free flowing and we're ready to rip. So fingers crossed we don't roll it, but hammer it down. And there you have it. All right, so if I have to weigh them right now, if I legitimately have to go, all right, which truck is better? It's it is a true hard equation to tell you which one's really better. I think a regular Gen 3 Raptor with a couple modifications like a mild leveling kit on the front. 37s are a must, absolute must. I think you're hard pressed to beat this truck. And you can spend the money on the Raptor R. I'm not telling you not to do it, but I'm telling you that I'm so impressed with this truck and happy with the decision that I made with this truck that I'm not gonna leave this truck. I hope you all enjoyed this video on comparing a little bit of the performance aspects of the Ford F-150 Raptor Gen 3 and the Ford F-150 Raptor R Gen 3, one with 720 horsepower, one with 450 horsepower, one with a turbocharger, and one with a supercharger. I'm telling you right now, they're both amazing trucks. And in the case of the regular Raptor, it's worth every fucking penny. So if you're interested in one, come find me. I'll find a way to sell you one. If you guys aren't following my other videos, check them out on Instagram. It's Mike Caudill. It's where you guys can find all the amazing stuff. But for now, that's it, man. Only one more thing left to do.